Hello, class. For today, we're gonna do a word scramble activity with Easter day and things that we went over last class. Last class, if we remember, we went over the pretérito imperfecto. So hopefully you guys already remember what it is, but if you don't, that's okay. We'll refresh our memories. Pretérito imperfecto, we use it for the actions that set the stage for another past action, for mentioning one's age, to describe the characteristics of people, things, or conditions. So in last class, we did fill out some of the charts that we have, which hopefully you guys have them in your notes. If you don't, that's okay. Just ask your partners or something. I also have one of them. I'll show one of the charts in this slides. But with that being said, we also did some examples. So hopefully, you understand what pretérito imperfecto is by now. If you don't, again, we'll work on it. So here's one of the charts. So we did the simple common words of ser, ir, and ver. We used it from the perspective of yo, which is yourself, tú, which is to the other person that you're speaking to, él or ella, which is if you're speaking in the third person, nosotros, nosotras, when you're speaking in a group, or ellos y ellas, again, different kind of groups, but with one gender or more than one gender in groups. So yeah, so the pretérito imperfecto would look like this. And again, we use some of the examples, but we'll practice some more today. The objectives for today would be successfully unscrambling the words from both activities, which are your Easter day and pretérito imperfecto, which also have newer words, some that we used yesterday and some other new ones that hopefully we can get to using today. Students will also be able to successfully construct a short story using the Easter words and the pretérito imperfecto words. So after we unscramble everything, I hope that you guys will use those words. At the end, the short stories you will share out within groups, but we'll talk about that towards the end of the day or after we do the activities. So for the first word scramble is Dia de Pascua edition. We have 13 words, which is very simple, very small. And again, these, I'm not going to give you like a key bank just yet. You'll get the answers after this. But for this, just think about words that you will, or like things, objects that you will use for Dia de Pascua, like materials or like any decorations or just things that you would use or know that people would use. If you don't celebrate, that's okay. So with that being said, I'll pass out these papers and give you a few minutes to fill them out. So after a few minutes, here's the word bank the answers. I also realized that I put chocolate down there twice, so hopefully you were able to unscramble it twice. And if you weren't able to unscramble all the words, that's okay. The answers are right here, and hopefully you get a better understanding of what we're trying to accomplish here. The next activity is with pretérito imperfecto words. Some of these words are from that first chart that I showed you, which was this one. Not all of them are on there, but some of them are. We also use some of the words that I have on that chart or the unscramble sheet are some of the examples that we used yesterday. So hopefully you have some of those. But again, if not, that's okay. Just try to fill out as best as you can. This one does have 15 words, but it's only like 2 more than the last one. So I'll give you again a few more minutes to do this one. After a few more minutes, here are your answers. Again, like some of these bottom ones, these are the new ones that we didn't really get to use last class. So for like habla, that kind of action, we didn't really get to practice more on those, but hopefully you were able to unscramble them. Now that we have all of these words together, the Easter day and then the pretérito imperfecto words, we are going to construct our short stories. So using the words from the Easter holiday and the newly found words from pretérito imperfecto, we're going to start developing ideas. So you can do this by yourself or with a partner. I would prefer if you guys did it like with 2 partners, not more than 2, just so you guys can have like either a conversation between one another or short stories. They must, however, follow the Easter day holiday theme words. It has to follow that kind of idea. Don't go off trying to come up with other stories. But if you can't do Easter day, we can talk about it and just give me ideas that we can that you can do other short stories. Some examples, like short sentences that you could possibly use, would be like, el domingo pasado visité a mi familia para buscar los huevos de Pascua. That is like something that I would do. So that was my own example. But again, if you can't come up with your own, like from your own perspective, that's okay. You can do from a different perspective of somebody else, or just like a whole made up thing. So something that I came up with was, cuando tenía 5 años, fui a mi primera búsqueda de huevos. I don't really remember when my first time was, but that's just an example. So you don't have to do your own personal experiences. If you can't come up with your own, that's okay. We could do different perspectives, or again, if you cannot come up with a story using the Easter Day holiday words, just give me different ideas and we could revolve around that. So with that being said, get into groups of 4.